How you doing, Sunday crew? How do you think we're going to play this one out? We've got Sharks up against the Knights. Will they dominate them early and most of their guys, well, their top guys get a rest? It's a little bit closer. They play the full 80 and it's worth just playing one of those guys. Nico Hines, obviously super expensive. Plenty to think about in that one. And then you got Tigers v Raiders, where I'm pretty much going to tell you to go all in on Adam Dewey, but that's the story for that section. Outside back, Stain Gagai has been absolutely killing it of late, but he does come up against the Sharks this week. He's killed it 3 of the last 4. I don't think he can do it again, but we did see that in that first month of the season that he came out and dominated every week and could definitely do it again. If we're looking at other guys in that game, then you've obviously got players like Ikavalu, who in the 4 games that he's played only has a low of 28, and he's 13-7, which isn't crazy numbers there. You've got Lockie Miller as well, who's coming off a light one. Could he come out and kill it? I think he definitely can. Plenty of options there. Ramian, Mulatalo. Just based off how much extra cash you've got. If you've got the extra, go for one of those top guys. If you don't, then Mulatalo, for example, at 12.5 is going to serve you just fine, getting mid-30s or potentially a 40 odd there. You got guys like Dom Young and Edric Lee who've been scoring a lot of tries. My worry there is that they could get beat pretty comfortably in this game, so I'd be wary of those guys and probably looking, if you had that extra 1,000, to go for Ronaldo in that one. If we're looking at the other game there, then guys like Seb Chris has been pretty consistent, has a couple of big games in him. So if you're looking for a game winner, then Seb could be that man. Lower than that though, it's really a bit of a pick and mix, to just try your luck in these ones. You got guys that like Tomoko who can have the odd decent game, but is a little bit more of a consistent 30 odd. You got Rapana, who has solid ones as well in that game, and he's been scoring well of late, so you can jump on that train and hopefully get a good one out of him there. And then lower than that, you've got guys like Savage, who are okay, averaging 30, and Nick Kotrick has had a couple of decent games in his last 3 at a pretty cheap price. You could go for a big one if they happen to get out to a nice lead and get a bunch of tries on the board against the Tigers there. As I said, in the halves and hookers, you got Dewey and also Hines. Hines is so expensive, and my worry with him is that he could get something similar to last week, that 58 in that 60 or so minutes, and just be done with the game if they're up by 20. I think that would be the smart decision as coach anyway. He's played pretty well every game this year and has absolutely killed it. So I think he's the one we could almost leave out of that game. But then the question is, who do you play? Do you go for Matty Moylan? Do you go for Brayley in that one? I personally wouldn't be going for any of the Knights halves. So it might be that you play Moylan in this one, considering, but he's also someone that could get a rest with the amount of injuries that he has in his life. Touch wood on that one. If we're going for the other game, I think Dewey's the man, obviously at 21. But if not, if you're going for someone else, then Jamal has to be the one picked. I think anything above 50 for him is pretty close to a certainty, whereas Dewey's the one that could go huge and pick up that 80 plus score. 71 last week, but has many scores over 60, whereas Fogs has this a bunch of scores just above that 50 mark. So either one of those would work best in that game. If we're looking lighter than that, obviously guys like Randall has been scoring really well of late there. He's got 5 scores above 39 in his last 5, which is lovely at a solid price. Spoke about Moylan there. And really, you got guys like Clune I wouldn't really look to touch. Wolford's not playing enough minutes, so that's probably it on the halves hooker front. And then the forwards, there's plenty of guns up top. You got Hudson Young doing really well. Also Dave Clemmer. Offengawe's been doing great things, getting 56 is his lowest in the last 4. So 21k, you're really happy with that. You got Cam McInnes, who should get some good minutes again. As per normal, I don't see them being any need to rest him any more than he already does. He's used to playing 80 minutes the last bunch of years, and this year's sort of that mid-50s. So he'll be fine for that. I can see him being a solid one. Tyson Frizzell, his price is going back up, considering he's got a couple of those great games in the last few weeks there. You've got Josh Papali'i as well, who needs to come out and have a big game, and I'm still seeing a mid-50s score from him, which is great at that price. Tommy Freeband, so he comes out with a very expensive price now after that big 2-try effort. So I don't know if he's going to be worth the 15.5 now, to be honest with you. Last week it was an absolute steal, and he's gained about 4.5k. So with this one here, he's just a bit of a luxury one if you have that extra bit of cash. If not, I wouldn't be just targeting him directly on that one there. You got Daniel Saifidi, who's had 3 really good games as well. So at 14.5, you get anywhere above that 40 odd, and he's going to be a good one. And then Manu Brown, James Taumau, they're scoring around that 40 mark. Brodie Jones, I think, is another great pick still. 37 last week was his lowest in the last 4, and if he gets that, you're still not absolutely mad. So anything above 40 is a big win there. Royce Hunt's been killing it the last 3 weeks as well. So 45, his lowest, and he's really stepped up. So you could pick him again with no worries at all. Jacob Saifidi has also been solid, 44, 38, 46, and 32, his last 4. So he's been cool, and I'd probably plug him in, to be honest, at 11.8 with some potential for some good minutes there. And you got Andrew Fafita, who's actually had 3 really good scores in the last 4. So he's actually a sneaky option off the bench now. All the middle forwards for Sharks have been absolutely killing it, with Hamlin Ueli averaging 42 as well. Another sneaky one in the other game is Emre Gula, so 35, his lowest in the last 3. He's been getting decent minutes of late and could do the same thing again. So really, that's everything we need to say about those 2 Sunday games. I wish you all the best of luck. Jump in that description, guys. Hit that sign up link, and we'll see you in the review show on Monday.